What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast, brought to you by Big City Wings. Shout out to Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. They have daily specials. Go check them out. They've got 13 locations in the Houston area, and they're opening their 14th here pretty soon. So shout out to Big City Wings. Thank you for sponsoring this episode. And thank you to Celebrity Mint. Go check out celebritymint.com to see graded legal tender collectibles of Ric Flair, Mike Tyson, and more at celebritymint.com, and follow them on social media at The Celebrity Mint. I am joined always by the What We Learn Houston Rockets edition king, fresh off a Poop Henderson loss in Houston, Josh Garcia. How we doing, bud?
Could be better. The Poop Henderson shit show was great. He shot 4 for 12. Was absolute. Him and Amen Thompson were just playing their hearts out. Amen more so in the better way, less efficient way. They were both very inefficient. Jeremy Grant just tore my heart out of my body. Off the backboard buzzer beater. It felt like he took 4 steps, but like I looked at it again and I was like, this is fair. This is a fine play. It was terrible. Sitting in the Sting, the Sting gif on Twitter whenever somebody, that was me. I was in the Sting gif seats. Had a great time though. The $7 tickets after fees. Shout out unnamed ticket people.
Sure.
They don't pay us, so love them though. But it was cool. Got to see my 4th Rockets game of the year. It was all right. How you doing?
In the first half, if you asked me this last night, the Suns and Mavs rivalry week, I was doing pretty good. Luka was torching the Suns. He was talking a lot of shit. He continued to talk shit the rest of the game. It didn't matter if we were down 20 or not. I was very disappointed. It's fine. It's a new day. I got hockey on tonight. Got all-star selections on tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun. But before we get into all of that, let's talk about the 27 different things that have happened since we recorded last.
Because, of course, every time. It's always the night after where a bunch of crazy shit goes down. So let's get after it.
Yeah, we'll lead off with Terry Rozier. Welcome to Miami.
Sure.
Shout out to Will Smith. Terry Rozier is traded from the Charlotte Hornets to the Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry and a first-round pick in 2027, which is lottery protected. And if it doesn't convey that year, it'll convey in 2028. Miami gets their guy, a guy that's going to help their team out tremendously, I think. Good ball handler to have, good offensive firepower to have. And he's like 6'1" with a 6'8" wingspan. Prototypical Miami Heat player.
Of course.
Fits perfectly in the organization. Eric Spoelstra is going to coach him up, and he's going to be even better. I know his 3-point percentage is down, but good trade for Miami. Didn't give up terribly much. Like, I saw Hornets fans asking for Jaime Jaquez Jr. or Tyler Hero or someone else in return, you're going to have Kyle Lowry in a first-round pick and like it.
And you're going to love it. The PU all around. Respectfully, Terry Rozier is going to be a guy in Miami where you're going to see his usage just die. And, of course, he's going to become a little more efficient, but I don't really see him averaging more than 15 in his tenure there. Being a main guy in Charlotte, I feel like almost anybody can do that at this point. I mean, especially when LaMelo Ball was hurt for damn near half the season. So his numbers are a little inflated, which should have reflected on the trade value, but it seemed like it really didn't. So maybe the Heat knew something that we didn't know. But as for right now, the Terry Rozier trade will make them better, but I don't see it taking them over the hump versus, Boston, Philly, Milwaukee. We'll get to Milwaukee later, but man, a lot of stuff this week for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a prototypical Heat player. I think he fits the culture. He's going to roll right into those Heat culture jerseys and fit right in. And Eric Spoelstra, if anyone else is at the helm of this team, it's a 36-win team max. Like, they're just not very good, but somehow, some way, Miami just figures it out every single year. They're going to end up in the Eastern Conference Finals, no doubt about it. Like, it's just going to happen. This is the world that we live in, and the Miami Heat are just better than everyone else when it gets down to it. Jimmy Butler just doesn't give a fuck about the regular season.
At all. It's been like 3 years. It's been 3 years of this. I mean, I don't understand what makes him just go in that mode. But when he gets in that playoff mode, goes off.
Yeah, I mean, he's incredible. So, yeah, Miami makes their first move. I think they have other moves up their sleeves. I don't think they have any more first-rounders. Maybe they do, like 2029 maybe. I doubt it. But
yikes.
But they still have Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. They got stuff that they can move for another little small piece for the bench later on if they wanted to here in the next 2 weeks, really. But we'll see what happens. We'll move on from this. Shout out to Terry Rozier, Scary Terry in Miami. It's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
The big news, the thumbnail for this episode. Coach Killer, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Adrian Griffin has been fired after starting the season 30-13. Doc Rivers in as head coach, signs to his
You.
2027 season for $40 million. Welcome to Milwaukee. Welcome back to Milwaukee, really, Doc, after going to school at Marquette. Adrian Griffin, it started off at the beginning of the season. I know you've got an article pulled up for us that you're gonna dox him. Basically, you're just gonna put everything out on the table here on this podcast. But yeah, Adrian Griffin out, Doc Rivers in. That is 3 head coaches in about 7 months for the Milwaukee Bucks.
This is insanity. I mean, you're seeing a superstar just completely lose track of what is important. I mean, the Bucks can win 60 games and they have no stability. And of course, sure, they won that ring against the Suns that year, which is very underrated finals. People do forget. I love that. I love that year. But Anyway, Adrian Griffin. So much has happened over the past couple months. It all started with Terry Stotts and them getting into it when Terry Stotts was pretty much just strictly brought in to coach up Damian Lillard, get paid $250,000 a year or whatever assistants make, or maybe $100K. I don't know, just to coach Damian Lillard. But there is okay. I'm not going to go through all 9 of these, but there is 9 different reasons, according to CBSSports.com, that Adrian Griffin is just not the guy. So, like I said, it all started with Terry Stotts. You kind of had this moment after, and this is all kind of recollection based, which I could obviously read on the article, but that's not fun. So I'm going to go impromptu style. The Rockets played the Bucks one game, and Giannis kind of had, really the whole team had an issue with this defensive scheme that they were running, not having Brook Lopez kind of on this set. I can't exactly quote what it was. I'm sure it's in the article here somewhere, but Brook Lopez was not playing up to what he should have been playing, and that was due to the coach's schemes. Adrian Griffin and their extremely ran through defense. I mean, they are just running up and down, playing these zones that are just killing, people who, maybe first, second, third year players who don't know how to deal with these fast set zones and these big double teams and all that. But like you come with the veterans. I mean, there's going to always be somebody open there if you have a veteran point guard, veteran shooting guard running the helm. So that was kind of their biggest issue outside of the Terry Stotts thing, was just them not being able to execute on defense. And we have made kind of jokes. We talked about it throughout the season very briefly, but because we can only watch so many Bucks games where we're league pass heads. But do I want to watch Giannis every night? No. I'm good on that.
Guarantee you, no.
So no, I'm good. But there's been a lot of issues, a lot of alleged issues as well. We don't have to necessarily get into it, but there is Reddit posts you can find. There's threads on Twitter that you can find. This is all alleged. We have no idea if this is true or not. Apollo HOU does not condone anything said by these people. But Adrian Griffin, you are a free agent. Will you be ever hired again? I don't know. Doc Rivers, cannot wait to see you blow a 3-1 lead with Giannis at the helm. Giannis dropping a 50 bomb and still losing by 10 in Game 7. It's going to hit like crack. I cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it was just a disaster from the start. It's like the first week of the season, and you can already hear players complaining about the defensive scheme and how they changed it because it was working under Budenholzer. And Giannis, you killed him off. You whacked him, got rid of him. You liked his defensive scheme so much. Why didn't you just keep him?
Exactly.
Won you a finals. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it was the wrong hire. Everyone was kind of surprised that it was the hire when it happened. Nick Nurse, Giannis turns Nick Nurse away, doesn't want to play for him, and now Nick Nurse is thriving in Philly in a situation where they had James Harden at the beginning of the season. They trade him. They're doing incredible. Embiid is on MVP pace again, counting on those 6 games to be missed throughout the rest of the season.
I was waiting on it. Yep.
TBD on that one. But Adrian Griffin fired, Doc Rivers in. It's funny. This is a Bravo reality TV show. This whole season has been like that. It's been incredible. But yeah, Adrian Griffin fired. Good riddance, I guess. No one liked you. There's a video pregame yesterday for the Bucks on Wednesday night, and they're dancing in a circle, like doing a whole chant and everything. They're having a grand old time without you as head coach. And I didn't see that. Giannis yelling at equipment managers, coaches, defensive schemes earlier in the season after a Pacers loss, thinking about the Pacers when you're getting freaky at night. Maybe all that's over. Maybe you're fine with Doc Rivers. Maybe Doc Rivers gets you to the second round.
Yeah. That's all they could ever want at this point, winning 60 games or 55 and just shitting it out. PU. This team stinks.
Yeah. So Adrian Griffin's gone. Doc Rivers, that's 3 head coaches in like 7-8 months now for the Bucks. It's funny. I laughed. I saw the news and I was like, that's funny. I don't want to see anyone lose their job technically, but it was funny. I laughed.
Yeah.
We'll move on. So Monday night, I believe it was Monday night, Joel Embiid, MVP frontrunner, scores 70 points against the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, in the most stat padding game that I've ever seen. There was a moment in the fourth quarter. It was kind of league passing it up. I was watching Daniel House get a kind of cut into the rim and get in the pass. He ended up blowing the layup or something, and the whole crowd just starts booing him. And I think that was just the biggest kind of show of what Giannis's MVP season has been, is just stat padding in the fourth. Like we mentioned on this pod, I saw it on MLK Day. He stayed into the game when there was a minute left, when they were up 20, 22 points. And when he could have easily gone out in the 7-8 minutes and just, not gotten injured, or even Tyrese Maxey wanted some extra points there. I'm like, I get that Nick Nurse is a player's coach in that sense, but it's just like, I hate to sound corny and, kind of old headish, but what's the point? Why are we doing this? Like, what if we have a Derrick Rose kind of situation? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to wish injury on anybody, even players that I like, but regardless, I mean, you've seen in the past 2 weeks, I've seen in the past 2 weeks, not Giannis, Joel Embiid just absolutely just put it on teams for no apparent reason. It felt like, when D'Antoni would always take Harden out in the third quarter, in the early fourth quarter, it's like, yeah, Harden could have probably gotten 80 a couple nights, maybe 4 or 5 nights in that 8-9 year tenure that he was with the Rockets. But dude, this is weird. Like, I've never seen such inflation. It happens almost every night if they're up, 10 or more.
Yeah, so I'm going to read you some stats from that game.
Please.
So Joel Embiid scored 70 points, 21 of 23 from the foul line. I get why he gets all the foul calls. He gets mauled all the time in the post. I get it. It just sucks that he's a free throw merchant and a flop merchant. Like, that's how he gets a lot of his points. I know James Harden used to do that, and that's why he got a lot of hate as well. 21 of 23 from the free throw line. The stat that stuck out to me, there's 2 really. 1 of 2 from the 3-point. He scored 70 with scoring 1 3-point.
Wow. He was getting the ball up and down every single time. That's nuts.
24 of 41 field goal.
Jesus.
He had 18 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover. 1 turnover and 1 3. Scoring 70 points is incredibly impressive, and I'm not going to hate on that because that's insane. 1 turnover, because you're having the ball every possession at this point.
Right.
Shooting 41 times with 1 turnover and only 1 3 made is crazy. He only took 2 threes. Yeah. He's 50% from 3-point land. The last stat that I want to point out here was that he scored 70 points and was a plus minus of plus 11. That was it.
Man, fuck that. I got nothing.
That's crazy. Yeah, you're only plus 11 and scored 70 points in a game where you won by 11 points.
God, man, it's the opposite of the Scoot Henderson effect.
It's incredible. But yeah, shout out to Joel Embiid, I guess. Like, whatever. Sure. Good for your 70 points. But turns out everyone can do it. Turns out.
Yep. Let's talk about it.
I mean, Dame Lillard, Devin Booker, it's just everyone. Donovan Mitchell scored 70. Like, everyone scores 70 nowadays.
Well, let's talk about a fraudulent 60, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean,
that was next on the list.
Perfect. I was league passing it up, and I saw Charlotte just lock in against Minnesota. Karl Anthony Towns scored 44 at the halftime mark.
Yeah.
Due to and maybe due to in part of him hearing Eric Collins. Is that the Charlotte Hornets guy?
I don't know what his name is, but he's electric.
I think it's Eric Collins, because he does college football sometimes too, which I had no idea until a couple months ago. But Eric Collins was just screaming his ass off. There was one point, of course, I'm not going to sit here and blow your eardrums out, but man, Eric Collins was just yelling top of
It
his
was
lungs after.
awesome.
And it was as Karl Anthony Towns put up his last three of the first half, but as it was going up, you'd hear, oh, 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 it goes in. Ah! Everybody just lost it. So watching Charlotte Hornets games is always really fun because you always kind of get to see those little moments. There was even a point at the end, and kind of delving away from the Karl Anthony Towns 60 here, but I'll get back to it. Leaky Black ended up making 2 clutch free throws, and if you remember, they've done this a couple times. You hear just remember the Terry, 2 beauties,
Yes,
and you just hear I love Leaky. I'm sorry, I keep screaming, but
no, it's
it
so good.
was awesome that commentator team they just love hoop. They love hoop so much, and we need more commentator teams like that. But back to Cat very briefly, I'll touch on this. He only finished the second half with 18 points, which sounds like a lot. Because if I see a guy get 36, I'm like, damn, he played really well. But
Yeah,
he was getting benched in the fourth multiple times. He ended up airballing the shit out of the last possible basket. Man, it was disgusting all around. You even had the coach try and say, "Oh, we were trying to get him, plenty of points." We saw that Embiid had 70. I think it was at the half or at the end of the third quarter, and we tried to, bring up his usage and make him play more and all this stuff. And it was just like, dude, it didn't work out. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If you're playing a shitty team, well, I was gonna say if you're playing a shitty team like the Spurs, but T-Wolves are playing a shitty team in Charlotte, so by all means they should have won that game, but they just let it slip away due to individuality or personal gain, which makes zero sense. As if you're a number one team, you cannot be that fraudulent, especially during a regular season, even during a regular season game in January, the dog days of the NBA season.
Yeah, I said it on a few episodes ago when we were talking about Western Conference contenders. I don't expect Minnesota to make it past the second round. I don't think they're good enough. I think at halftime, Anthony Edwards had 0 points and like 2 shots, maybe one. Yep. He didn't shoot the ball. They were deferring to Cat the whole time. Scored 62 points. Incredible. 7 turnovers for Cat. 8 rebounds, 2 assists. 10 of 14 from the free throw line. 10 of 15 from 3-point.
Jesus.
And I think he hit like all 10 at the very beginning of the third quarter. Like I think he hit 3 in the beginning of the third quarter, and then he didn't hit another one for the rest of the game.
Yeah, right.
And he was 21 of 35 from the field. Incredible game. Fun stat here. Plus minus, what was it? Take a guess.
Plus 17.
A big fat 0. Goose egg. Plus minus of 0 when you score 62 points in an NBA game and you end up losing.
Plus minus is bullshit.
I think it's very funny that you can score 62 points and have a plus minus of 0.
It is, though. Yeah, man. Cat, most empty stats, 62 I've ever seen. Jordan would be rolling in his grave if he was dead right now. Man, it was a weird night overall. A lot, like I said, so much shit always happens, in between the time that we record. But that Monday night was just something special, man. I have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, it was a fun night on Monday night. Like they said, the Timberwolves were feeding the hot hand. Obviously, the Sixers were doing the same for Embiid. Embiid and the Sixers get the win. It got a little close there at the end, but when it started getting close, they benched Cat. Like 3 minutes left in the fourth, he's on the bench.
Yeah. It's disgusting all around.
Yeah, and the Hornets announcer, when Leaky Black was at the line, he's like, he hasn't made a free throw all season. And, yeah, it was very fun. Sorry for the headphones there. But the Hornets announcer, if you haven't already, just go look at it on Twitter, online, YouTube, wherever you can find it.
It was great.
Incredible. I love Leaky. Yeah, it's very, very good. I had a tremendous time. A lot of fun there. It's rivalry week in the NBA.
Sure.
Why are the Mavs and Hawks playing on national television for a rivalry week?
Yeah, the Spurs, the Blazers are playing. I don't see what's happening. You don't even have the Celtics Lakers playing. I mean, that does beg the question though. What do you consider rivalries in this day of NBA? I mean, give me like 2 or 3 you got maybe?
I got a handful, I think.
Go ahead.
So Lakers Celtics, that's the nostalgic rivalry that will never go away. That is what we're going to have till the end of time. It is Auburn, Alabama. It is Texas OU. That is the rivalry.
Right.
Celtics Miami Heat. is another one, which we're
I'm with
getting.
it. Oh yeah.
That's one. Phoenix and Dallas, due to recent playoff and
Yeah.
regular season games where they literally got in a fight last night. Kevin
Sure.
Durant's a bitch. Generational flopper, and KD, you're a bitch.
Talk to him.
Fuck KD. You should play the song.
Oh.
I think you got that one. I really think we need to get Dallas, Houston back on the map. They need to get Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, San Antonio. We got to get the Texas Triangle going back up. I think you could do San Antonio, OKC here in about a year. I think you could do that next year. The
I like
Chet
that.
Wemby, but then you got the proximity of the teams: Oklahoma City, San Antonio. Once we get Seattle back, we'll have Seattle and Portland. That'll be fun.
Can't wait.
I like the Sacramento Golden State one, even though they both kind of suck right now. Like,
Yeah,
they're not very good. But like, I get that one. I get that one being on the list. And I think Celtics 76ers, you got to throw that one up, even though Joel Embiid has said it's not a rivalry because they haven't won a game yet in the playoffs, or they haven't won a series. I think that one. Maybe. And then why didn't we just get one flexed? Indiana and Milwaukee. Why didn't we get that one going?
Yeah. At this point, I mean, with how this season has been turning out, this could be a rivalry for years to come. I mean, Tyrese versus Giannis, Miles Turner on Giannis getting bodied every time. There's a lot that can happen there. And another kind of, speaking of Indiana, another kind of thing that I've noticed is on Twitter, it's been happening for about a week now, but it's really gained traction. Buddy Hield having a burner account. Have you been tapped into that?
I've seen the screenshots. I've seen
them,
yes.
It's blatantly obvious. He's like, man, I just love it. I just love hoop. I just love Indiana Pacers hoop. I'm just like, dude, you're all your replies are just praising Buddy Hield, which Buddy Hield is a great player, but he's a good player.
He's decent, yeah.
He's good. What are we doing here? I don't understand it. Great screen grab content, though, I will say.
Another rivalry, I think you could do Memphis, New Orleans.
Yes,
proximity wise, and that's when Ja is playing. Obviously, that's a little bit more fun. Zion, Ja, same draft, proximity, Southwest Division, and that one would be fun. Just outside of that, I guess you do Miami, Orlando because they're Florida teams, but that doesn't move the needle.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, and then obviously we got Clippers, Lakers the other night. That was a fun game. LeBron didn't play, but that one makes sense. But Lakers, Celtics for sure. Celtics, Miami for sure. Dallas, Phoenix because of the recency over the last 3 years of that rivalry. That one makes sense. Outside of that, you're right. There's not really a ton of like hated rivalries, but Giannis versus the Pacers would have been fun because he can't stop thinking about them. I don't know.
need a playoff series. I need a semifinal.
I don't get some of the rivalries that the NBA's pulled up. Like, let's use some common sense. Which teams hate each other? Which players hate each other? Let's match them against each other.
Well, now nobody hates each other anymore because the NBA is a brotherhood, and there's no
I can tell you that the Mavericks and the Suns hate each other.
Okay. Well, there's 2 teams out of 30, so that's a 15th of the league.
And I think Boston hates Miami.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that's more of like a decade plus long one with LeBron and Miami. I think that one's when it really started.
Yes.
And it's kind of lived on because Miami has just been like the little brother that pokes and prods too much and always ends up winning somehow. I think that's a really good one that we don't get to, because it's Jimmy Butler and I don't think he likes anyone in the world.
Yeah,
I think he likes himself and he just doesn't care for anyone else. It's awesome.
He's charging teammates $20 for coffee. Remember that one though?
Yeah, in the bubble, and then he said he ran out so he could do 100. They all because they had the stipends and they all came in 20s and 100s, and if you ran out of 20s, he charged 100. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's awesome. I love Jimmy Butler. I know you hate him, but Tomball boy.
I was gonna say he's a Houston kid. I still don't really like him. I don't know why.
Weird. So rivalry week. Let's figure this out. Let's pick the 5 biggest rivalries and make sure that they're all televised.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we roll with. We don't have to have everyone be in rivalry week.
Yeah, there was 11 games, 20, maybe almost 20 different teams, maybe 15 different teams. These matchups just stink. You saw what was it? Yeah, like I said, Portland and San Antonio.
Yeah,
that's what really threw me off. You said the Hawks were in there too.
The Hawks and Mavericks are playing, and they're trying to create a rivalry between Trae Young and Luka Doncic, where they don't they like each other. They really do. They actually enjoy each other's presence. You've seen it in like the Rising Stars Challenge a few years ago.
Yeah,
Like
the half
when
court shot.
and Luka hit the half court shot on Trey, and then they both
Yeah.
turn around and smile. Like they like each other, and there's no rivalry there. And that's on Friday. Like
No.
what we got today? We got 76ers, Pacers, Timberwolves, Nets, Celtics, Heat. So there's the one. Nuggets and Knicks. Like Knicks and Nets. That's the other one.
Yeah,
That's kind of
yeah.
big brother, little brother. That one's fine. Yeah, it's just like Kings, Warriors is night, Bulls, Lakers. Is there anything Friday that's like remotely interesting?
Well, first
Clippers,
of all,
Raptors.
the Brooklyn Nets need to relocate. I still don't
Go back to
understand why they
Jersey.
did that. Either go
Just
back
go
to
back to
Jersey
Jersey.
or I don't even know, man. Go to Cincinnati, Louisville. Just get out, dude.
Yeah, Louisville, Kansas City. Let's bring back one of those teams.
Yeah, I don't hate
From
that at
the
all.
ABA
Kansas
and
City Kings,
NBA
man.
pre-merger. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah,
Why
Brooklyn's not it. Brooklyn's arena, really nice.
Yeah.
I went back in 2019. It's a great atmosphere when they're not playing the Knicks. Because when they're playing the Knicks, it's all Knicks fans there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Spike
yeah.
Lee was on courtside just jumping up and down, celebrating with everybody. Yeah, that was a good game, too. They were down double digits heading into the fourth quarter, and Julius Randle kind of took over. Come home to Dallas, Julius Randle. We need a bully ball.
I love when the Knicks just completely just washed away the Nets, especially because the Rockets own their picks for eternity at this point. So seeing them get into the top 8 there, they're creeping up. They're creeping up, man. In that
they
lottery.
Could be sellers. They could get
Who
rid of
knows?
Claxton, Dorian Finney-Smith. They've got some pieces that they could offload if they wanted to. I know they're going to keep Mikal Bridges, which you could just give them to Dallas for like a first-round pick and Rashawn Holmes and Maxi Kleber. That would be cool. I'm just spitballing here.
No, of course. I mean, Nick Claxton, please be a Rocket. I love that. We got a Jock Landale for you. We got a couple seconds. Victor Oladipo. He can jump pretty high.
Why not?
Black Panther, the dunk, the 540 little dunk he did. That was pretty cool, right? He can still do that in games.
Sure. He can sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rivalry week, NBA, just give it over to me and Josh. Zero Gravity Podcast will take care of it for you. We'll dial it up. We'll find you 5 incredible games to throw on national television, TNT, ABC, ESPN. We'll mix and match. Yeah, we're gonna find you 5 really good games, and then we'll supplement it with like 3 okay rivalries that aren't there really, but could be maybe.
But we just the games we just want to see.
Yeah. We're gonna figure that out for you. NBA. Don't worry about it. Just hand it over. We'll take care of it next year. No charge to you. Just put our podcast platform on every broadcast, and just make sure that everyone has links and everything in the description of your YouTube highlights of those games. Tonight, Thursday night, we're recording this Thursday, January 25th. The All-Star starters will be selected and revealed, I would believe, on TNT since it's Thursday. We'll do a little live reaction afterwards. A little bit later tonight, we'll get a good reaction to the All-Star starters, what we liked, what we didn't like, but we'll address that later tonight. A little bonus episode this week. A little bonus episode.
Oh yeah. Season's heating up. Trade deadline's coming. All-Star game's coming. Ooh, it's gonna be sick. Can't wait.
It's been an eventful week in the NBA. We've had a lot of fun talking shit online. Twitter has been just a blessing this week for NBA Twitter. It's always good when it pops, It's always good. But yeah, that's the episode. So this has been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast. Thank you to Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint for sponsoring this episode. Go check them out. They've got 13 locations in the Houston area, opening their 14th very soon. And thank you to Celebrity Mint. Go check out celebritymint.com. Check out their graded legal tender collectibles of Mike Tyson, Ric Flair, and more at celebritymint.com. And follow them on social media at @TheCelebrityMint. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell on YouTube at Apollo HOU so you never miss an episode of Zero Gravity. If you're a Rockets fan, go check out Summit State of Mind. We're still doing some football content with Play Action Takes on Apollo Media, and baseball season is coming. So hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Apollo HOU. It's been Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast.